questioning my right to be mad. Well, let them come for me or my people and watch the upheaval rain down. Just let them come. Can't stand in the shadows much longer. The battle is getting warmer. Let them come. Let them come. But I'm stand here waiting on the war cry while the choppers circle around in my red sky. Fly ashes, sweat ashes. The discourse is no more. We passing on to another dawn similar to past lives. If you knew your history, then you could probably transcribe what's happening down to the millisecond. The revolution is ever present, and steady on a constant stream. The only thing that ever changes are the hues on the screen. The same scenes come through on the local news. It ain't the German shepherds now, it's the principles and the pastors too, and the local crews and the mother, cousin, grandmother closest to you. They got a whole generation. It's a new strange fruit, thinking they martyrs for a birthright. Die while their lights bright, posturing and threatening. They questioning my right to be mad. Well, let them come for me or my people and watch the upheaval rain down. Just let them come. Can't stand in the shadows much longer. The battle is getting warmer. Let them come. Let them come. We looking at
put that stuff on there. Right, because people would be like,
they be like, scandalous. I don't know if I want to read his book. What's that book going to be about?
Oh, the book is scandalous.
Yes.
Very. Yeah.
I want that to be deleted. I want to do a commercial now. You be like, the book is scandalous.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. I want to start from the beginning. It feels funny with me starting from the beginning because I already know the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess for our viewers, if you could just give them an idea of growing up Chavez.
Well, I was born in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, here. And am I supposed to talk about my writing journey? or just my growing up life?
Yeah, I guess growing up. Like, did you, how old were you when you left North Carolina?
I was 3 years old.
Okay. So it wasn't like you were born, and since you were born, you came up here.
I was 3 years old. My mother was pregnant with my sister when we moved back up here because she needed help. Mm-hmm. So,
do you remember
her and my father.
Oh, they were both there?
Yeah, they were together. She wasn't a single mother.
He was living up here.
Yeah.
Like, do it for yourself, I see you.
Yeah, but we were living in North Carolina because my father was in the Marines. Okay. And that's where that was where his, what's it called?
Station.
His station.
Yeah, that's more for us being like.
Yeah. Yeah, he was stationed in North Carolina, so they both moved there when she was pregnant with me. Mm-hmm. And we came up here when I was 3. And
do you remember any of North Carolina at all?
I remember, the only thing I really remember is horses and big houses and some of the people. Okay. Because my mother still remained close friends with some of the people in North Carolina. So, then in Baltimore, when I first came here, when I was 3, that was my first time when I ever met my grandmother. Mm-hmm. Didn't like my grandmother.
Now, which side of the family is it?
My mother's mother. I didn't.
Why you didn't like her?
I don't know why I didn't like her. I just didn't because my mother left me there with her. And I'm like, why did you leave me here with this lady? I don't know her. And my grandmother told me all the time how I just kept giving her the side eye and she's going to beat my little ass because I gave her the side eye. So, yeah, and I've been living in Baltimore since. Okay. I don't really know what to say about my childhood. I had a really good childhood. Okay. I had a really good childhood. Me and my sister. My mother and father, they raised us very well. Mm-hmm. We had a great childhood. Okay. Yeah.
At what age did you begin to really start to pay attention to writing?
Well, I've been writing since I was a little boy. I used to make greeting cards for my mother, since I obviously wasn't working. Couldn't get a job yet. So I would make birthday cards for her, Mother's Day cards. But I didn't really pay attention to it until I was 17.
Okay.
When I gave my entire immediate family Christmas poems, and everyone was very emotional about it.
Oh.
And that's when my mother and my uncle both encouraged me to start writing more.
Okay.
Then,
do you get it from either one of them? Your writing, or are either one of them writers? Or
my mother actually writes.
Okay.
She started writing a book back in 1995. She didn't finish it.
Mm-hmm.
She just gave me the manuscript last week, actually.
Oh, wow.
So I can start reading it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I need to take the time out to do that.
Right.
But in 2006
mm-hmm.
was when MySpace was real popular.
Mm-hmm.
And I started posting my poems on there. And one day you asked me would I like to be a part of Escape the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the whole writing thing came about.
Right.
That's when I started taking it serious.
Okay.
Because when you first told me about Escape the Matrix, I didn't know what the hell I was getting myself into. I just said, yeah. I don't really know what Escape the Matrix is, but I'm gonna be a part of it.
I don't know what
but
I didn't know.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But I really appreciate you for asking me that, because I don't think this book would have been written if I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
Seriously.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling to know, that I had anything to do with that.
Yeah.
That's a real big dream of yours. So.
Yes. I didn't think that writing just was something that I used as an outlet. I didn't know that was my passion.
Right. So that's something that you realized
Mm-hmm.
while writing for the magazine, was that it actually was your passion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what was the journey like at the beginning? Because of course, from my point of view, I know being the editor what the journey was like for me. Well, being the editor in chief, of course you were editor as well. But I know what my journey was like.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never really sat down and talked with any of y'all about what the journey was like with y'all from beginning to. And you're only one of 4,
Right.
You were one of only 4 people that have been with the magazine since its inception.
Right.
So what was it initially like for you writing for a magazine?
I remember our first meeting, just sitting down and throwing out ideas with everyone else. I was so excited.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've never been involved in something like that before.
Right.
And I was only 19 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this was major,
Right.
which it really was. It was really major. So my journey beginning, it was very exciting. Over the years, when I became a youth director, I started to get a little drained because I felt like people wasn't taking it as serious as I was taking it. And that made me respect you more, because I remember when you would yell at us when you felt like that we weren't taking things as serious. Like when I went and changed my picture on MySpace. But now I really see the importance of promotion. Now that I have my own book, I really see the importance of it, and I really wish I could go back and, put the picture up when you told me to put it up.
Because you was serious about that, boy. I was like, Chavez didn't play.
Yeah.
He was like, it's about how many days now?
Yeah.
All right, damn.
Now I changed it back to my regular picture of me, of my little Zoolander poses.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, Chavez don't play. It was known. It was like people always could know that you and Quill was like, okay, wait, how long is it gonna be now? Yes, let's go.
As the phone rings.
Yes, for guest star. Last call. Yes.
Okay.
So, what are some of your highlights as far as writing for Escape the Matrix?
Some of my highlights. One major highlight was two major highlights was interviewing Teacher Moses twice. The
Mhm.
first time was horrible for me because it was kind of my first interview with someone who I wasn't really familiar with, so I had to try to learn her material overnight. And I was so timid and shy. That interview was horrible.
She was really cool though.
Yeah, she
And
was
that's
really
what I really
cool.
liked about her. She was so the complete opposite
She was
of a diva.
really, yes,
Yeah.
she was really cool. But 2 years later, I got a chance to interview her again. You asked me if I would like to do it again, and I said yes because I would like to prove myself that I could do it. And we had a ball on that phone
For real?
for like 45 minutes.
That's
I
awesome.
still had that interview.
Are you serious?
I still had it.
Yeah, we never actually talked about the experience the second time
yes,
around.
we really had a great time. I was sipping wine talking
Yes.
to her over the phone, and she just, it just felt like she was one of my homegirls or something. So
Did she remember you?
well, we haven't tweeted each other in a while, but she usually would say, "Hey, Chavez."
Oh, that's what's
Yeah,
up.
so
Okay.
yeah, she remembers me.
That's a good feeling. That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
You know, to be able to have that experience with somebody, especially because it was twice.
Right.
And because how many
Because the
people
first
love
time she didn't remember me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
she
She was
didn't
like,
remember.
"Now?"
Yeah, she didn't remember me the first time, but the second time
She was like, we met way up?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably because, y'all, it wasn't so much, there were so many handlers and different things that were going on when we were at
it was so much going on.
It was like this time it was just the two of y'all.
Yes.
Y'all was able to do y'all thing.
Yes,
and
and I mean it was on the phone, but I still loved it.
Yeah.
I loved the whole conversation and everything.
And so many people love her music.
Yeah, I love her music
Yeah.
because the first time when I interviewed her, I wasn't really familiar with her work, but the second time around, I had her CD, so I was able to ask her questions.
Right.
So.
And what was the second thing?
Becoming the director.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't really scared about it, but I just was wondering if people would listen to me.
Right.
Because I've come across as very laid back and I guess soft spoken, so I was a little worried that people wouldn't listen to me. For the most part, they did.
Right.
For the most part, they did. So that was another moment.
I can honestly say, you and I have had this conversation for years. I always feel like I never get to see the side of Chavez that's like, I'll knock a bitch out. And you're a Taurus. So it's in there, but I've never really seen that side.
People, someone said it yesterday. And I was like, well, do you really want that side to come out? But no, it really takes someone they really have to do something cruddy.
Right.
To take me there. There's only one person that knows how to get under my skin, and that's my sister.
Has that been your whole life? Or?
Oh, yes. That's the only person that knows how to get under my skin and bring that side out.
That says a lot that she's the only one who can do that.
Yes.
The fact that it's not your mother or your father. Like, it's your sister who's really able to do that.
My father... No, I don't really pay him any mind. My mother, she can, for the most part, I just ignore her.
Right.
Because I know sometimes she talk just to hear herself talk. And we know that she talks so much. So...
It was her show at Storytellers. I swear, she was like, alright, now that I'm on the stage.
Yes, like I was her opening it.
Yes. She said, thanks. Appreciate that. Hey, everybody. Give it up one more time for Chavez, y'all. Yes.
When we left, she was like, was I talking too much? And I said, no, you were just being you.
Yeah, you were just being you, exactly. Like, that's the reason why when I put it up on YouTube, I was like, okay, I need for all of her to be on there. Because I know there are people who have been waiting to see her in an atmosphere like this. Like, alright, is that the videos at home?
And she almost, a cuss word, almost slipped out her mouth. And she caught herself. myself.
When y'all told that story about when you were on the radio station, I was like, yeah, I have to go back and look at that.
You still have it?
Yeah.
Oh my! It's at the very end, like the last 4 minutes. It's so embarrassing. Like I actually was like this, and she was on the phone. I was like, oh my gosh, why is she calling?
I'm like,
What?
I love that
She is
people
so-
can see this all over the world. Like, and this is like history. Like, that's always going to be there for somebody to be able to watch, and that is the best, I guess.
Oh my gosh. It's easy for you to say. It's so easy for you to say. And then she called me by my nickname.
Yes. Wait a minute, what was it she said when she first called? She said
She was calling to see if I was still there.
Yes.
So she didn't even know. She didn't even know she was on air until I got home.
So the whole time she was talking.
She didn't know she was being recorded. She said, alright, when she first called, she said, hi, this is Chavez Brown's mom, and I wanted to know if he was still at the station. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then she said, Dazzy! Oh my gosh.
What did Terrence say?
He loved it.
Yes.
Him and his co-host, they loved it.
Yes.
And the other guest, the other guy that was there, he was cracking up.
Yes, Bessie. I would have died.
Well, I was just so embarrassed.
Oh, that would have been everything.
That's easy to say because that's not your mother.
Right. Yes, I know that feeling. Because my mother is definitely one of those kind of people where she will just jump into a conversation.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. You're like, shh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm doing this right now.
And she like, am I going to see y'all Sunday? Yeah, y'all make sure y'all come on Sunday because y'all got to see where the object was something. I was like, what is she talking about? Get off the phone.
That was my mother at Storytellers in September, the one right before yours. She told everybody who was there. She was like, I better see y'all here.
I thought that I was going to see her. I thought that she was going to be at the one for me.
She wasn't able to come because she had to watch my grandmother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and the funny thing is, I keep repeating stuff from October thinking she was there, and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
My
she
bad.
wasn't there.
That turnout was so good. That was such a
That's
good
what made me
turnout.
even more nervous.
Because there was so many people there.
Yes.
I can imagine. Like, that was the first time in a couple of months, in several months actually, where there were no chairs.
Wow.
Like, we had run out of chairs, which didn't matter with your people because they were all up against the
Yeah,
wall.
they were all against the wall in their fashions.
I was like, y'all can sit, right? Like, y'all want to mess the outfit up?
But some people told me at the end that they didn't know that the other door led to more chairs.
Chairs, yeah.
I was like, yeah, where did you think people were coming from?
Right.
Okay.
But that was good though, because we had talked about your concerns about if people were going to support.
Mm-hmm.
And like, they came out.
Yeah,
they really did.
They did.
And I was laughing because when I was talking to people, I'm like, you have to understand. And it was so funny. I told somebody, I never told you this before. I told somebody, I was like, I'm going to nickname you the Gay Moses. I was like,
You got so many names for me.
I was like, it's all the people followed you. I was like, he parted the Red Sea and all the gays came. Like all these people told me they were going to come to Storytellers. They never come to Storytellers. Soon as his sale showed up, suddenly here they all come. Like,
I felt very special though.
you should have.
Like, people were coming up to me saying, I came here for you. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
I mean that in the most humblest way.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I didn't even know who some of these people were. And that was when I started speaking and I started when I was about to cry.
Mm-hmm.
It was because I got overwhelmed. My mother thought that I got scared.
Oh, no. I definitely knew it was because you were overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It showed on your face.
Don't you know that? Don't you know? She was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No, I'm not."
I was kind of mad that she asked just because I like that moment. Like, I like when you had to come out of it to let her know you was okay. I was like, oh, because you heard the whole audience. Like, he was like, oh, and everybody started clapping. I was like, that was a great moment because you had to stop yourself. Like, because being where you were and looking out at all those people was like, yeah, dude.
Yes, I was so choked up too. I was like, oh my gosh. All these people, like, really here for me?
Okay, so you talked about the things that really stood out to you as far as your experiences with the magazine.
Right.
When did it get to the point where you felt as though you wanted to write a book?
Well, in I think that was 2008. I took a literature class, and I wrote a short story, and I loved the emotion I felt while I was writing it.
What was the emotion?
It was, well, I don't think that I should love feeling sad, because in the beginning of that story, it was very depressing. So I was listening to a lot of sad songs that got me into that mood as I was writing. And then as the story progressed, the tone got a little lighter, and I just love that it was so many emotions rolled into one as I was writing.
Okay.
So in 2009, when I didn't have a job anymore, I was going through relationship issues and just the financial stuff. I needed an outlet, and my journal wasn't working. Like, I was writing in my journal, and that wasn't working.
Right.
So I began writing a story. A story that kind of channeled my emotions, but was very different from my story, I guess. Wow. It was a very, very emotional time.
Is there anything that you're able to share with us that you don't feel like it's too personal that happened in your relationship that contributed to the book?
That isn't too personal?
Of course, no names have to be said.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Mostly because I know if you do, it will be your first time ever actually talking about it.
Yeah, wow, I'm trying to think of one, like something from the top of my head. There's so many things that happen. So many. I think they may be a bit too personal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any infidelity?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Just to give
tons of that.
Okay.
Yes.
Just to give the viewers an idea of kind of where you were as far as where the sadness comes
Yeah.
from. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and just feeling like feeling insecure and feeling like you're giving someone your all, but you're not getting anything back in return.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
The emotion sucks. So that feeling inspired the book. And one of the characters, I actually had one of the characters express that. But the things that happen in the book is very dramatic. Right. So it's worse than what I've been through.
Right.
It's
worse. It was kind of like your experience turned up like 5 times.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's worse. So I'm grateful to go through that experience because I don't think the book wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
The book wouldn't exist if I didn't have that experience.
A lot of people don't really understand that about pain. You know, that out of that, if you navigate through it properly,
right.
You know, that it's a life lesson.
Yeah.
And that's how you have to see it, you know. It's like if you wallow in it and become depressed in it, then of course that's where the negativity happens.
Right.
But
and I did really become depressed. But not only because of that, but because I was sitting in the house not doing anything, and I didn't feel good about that.
Because an idle mind is a dangerous one.
Yes, it is. Oh my gosh. Like, I could have really just bought a gun and shot myself. Like, but, me having so much idle time, it allowed me to write the book. Because as soon as I got done, I found a job.
Boy. And see, you never told me that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You want to talk about God? Wow. Seriously?
Seriously.
So after you finished writing, you got...
Mm-hmm.
That's serious.
Right after I bought the copyright. Yeah, right after I bought the copyright. Got a copyright.
So somebody said be still. Somebody said be still, because if you're doing all this other stuff, you will never give birth to
And
this.
it's funny because I just realized that. Me talking about it right now just made
Don't
me
you
realize.
love when that happens?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
love when
didn't
that
even
happens.
realize that. So it was a purpose why the end.
Yeah, I love when that happens, when that moment happens, when you're in the middle of talking about something, and while you're talking about, it's like, I hadn't even thought about that until after I literally just said that out of my mouth. That's so powerful, though. Like, you were supposed to be there. You were supposed to, as painful as that was, to be unemployed, sitting up in the house, but it was needed for you to be able to give birth to what has been so well received by people.
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel, the response that you're getting from this book? First of all, what's the name of the book? Because we've yet to even mention it.
The book is called Nice Guys Don't Finish Last.
Indeed. It has been the book for the majority of this conversation. So what has it been like,
It's been, like I said, as storytellers, it's surreal.
Mm-hmm.
It's very surreal. To even see my book cover on Amazon.com, it feels so strange.
Yeah.
And when I saw that ad last week on YouTube,
Steve Jobs?
Yes.
Yeah, boy.
oh my god.
Explain that to everybody so they'll know.
Okay, so you want me to talk to the camera?
Hey, you do whatever you want to do.
I don't know. I always feel so stupid when I'm talking to the camera. Yeah, so last week I'm looking at Rihanna's We Found Love video. And I scrolled down and look at the comments, but something just told me to scroll to the side.
Mm-hmm.
I scrolled to the side and saw Steve Jobs. What was it? His biography?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw his biography in the center of a Barnes and Noble's ad, and on the left of his book, I saw my cover, and I screamed so loud. Wait a minute, was your mother here? She was. I was in my room. She said, "What?" And I showed it to her. She said, "Oh my God." Yes, but it was so surreal. Just the most overwhelming thing that I've received so far from this is someone telling me that after they read the book, it made them look at their relationship differently, and now they're trying to work on it. Wow.
Meaning they were the person who was doing wrong?
They weren't necessarily the person doing wrong, but just some of the situations in the book was like a mirror of their relationship, and they just were like, this is something that I can work on. Mm-hmm. So, well, that was a few days ago when I got the first person said it to me. Somebody else said it to me last night.
Wow.
In a direct message. So, that matters to me the most. Mm-hmm. When people say stuff like that to me, and also when people understand where I'm coming from.
Right, with your character.
Yeah. Right. Opposed to just, I love to hear people's opinions. I love to hear people's critiques. But when someone really understands the perspectives from everyone in the book, that means a lot to me because it means that they really are taking the time out to really comprehend and not just look at things for what they are, but really like think about it.
Right.
So that's something that's very important to me. You know, I mean, I love seeing myself on BarnesandNobles.com and stuff, but the feedback is what matters to me the most.
I'm sure that's what you made it for.
Yes.
Was to be able to touch people. Yeah.
Yes. In the beginning, I tell the readers that I want you all to be able to laugh and cry and curse at these characters. And for the most part, people who read the whole thing, they keep telling me that they cried at the end. So I feel like that my goal was accomplished. I didn't cry when I wrote it, but it was a very dark place that I was in when I wrote the ending. So people being able to be in that funk with me, it just means so much. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And it sucks that you ain't read it yet.
We will have a follow-up. With everybody watching, we'll have a follow-up so that we can talk about what happens at the end throughout the entire book. Absolutely. We'll come back to that again. One of the main things that I wanted to talk to you about that I definitely wanted you to share with those who are watching the Escape Theory is your journey as far as what you've had to go through being a gay man. And I say that because I know that we have some people in the LGBT community. It sounds like I said D. LGBT. He said LGD.
Okay.
He said, that's kind of offensive. Yeah, in the LGBT community who are watching this right now. And your story has inspired me, which I don't know if I've ever told you that before. But I have never been gay bashed. And like, I'm not sure if y'all saw him, but he had this look on his face where he was real interested at first. And then I was like, gay bash, he was like, oh no. That one. You want me to talk about that one now?
It's cool. That's part of my journey as well. It
you inspired me because I've never even been close to that, you know? And having people that I love around me who have had to experience that. Those of you who haven't let it destroy you, like, it makes me respect you so much. And I just feel like your story could save somebody's life, you know? So if you could just talk to the people, you know, the viewers, as far as what is it that took place. I know that the second time it wasn't necessarily a gay bash.
Yeah, no, that was just...
That still took having to, you know, go deep within to even be able to come out of that. You know, even though that wasn't a bashing that time around. Yeah. But I guess to focus on the very first time, when it actually was a gay bash, what was it that happened, and then how were you able to come out of that?
Well, how old was I? I was 20 years old, and this was a hot summer day. This was a hot summer day, and I was on my way home because I went to pick up my check from my job, and I got off the bus, and I saw some guys standing across the street from me, so I found a way to, like, avoid them and, like, walk through the shopping center just to run into another group of guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it nighttime?
It was daytime.
What?
It was only like 2:00 p.m.
You never told me that. Wow.
It was daytime. Yeah. Yeah, just don't run into the other group of guys. I avoided eye contact with them. So, I mean, neither one of them could say that I was looking at them in any kind of way.
Right.
But, so I started walking and I felt them following me.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, they'll walk off to the side whenever I turn around. So, I was walking up the little, you know, the little slant, by the houses.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking up there, and then I was walking into my walkway to get to my house, and the boy ran up on me.
That close to your house?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right in front of my door.
What?
Yeah. Boy ran up on me, and then the other boys came followed suit, and I was getting the first boy.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting his ass. The other ones, I don't remember how I landed on the ground, but somebody kicked me in my eye really good. And it was like, oh shit, just give up. Just give up. And, you know, they just, you know, started kicking me and stuff. And, thankfully, I came out with just a black eye.
Mm-hmm.
I only had a black eye. But, the emotional damage it did to me was, I can't really say that. I can't even say that I healed 100% from it.
Mm-hmm.
It happened 4 years ago, but it still does, you know, cross my mind.
How did it make you feel?
I don't know if I'm able to say this like on YouTube.
No,
but,
absolutely.
I wanted to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to find each and last every one of them and kill their ass.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't cry.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do any of those things. Like I didn't physically emote. I just felt
Inside.
Yeah, I felt it inside. I was very angry.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, you know, at the like when it first happened, my mother and father, they went bananas. And
was anybody home when it happened?
Ray was actually upstairs, but she didn't hear it.
Okay.
She didn't hear it. But like people seemed concerned when it first happened, but after that, it's like people didn't really ask me like how I felt or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have been more vocal about it instead of letting it build up that I was being angry because people wasn't being so concerned about it. And my mother, like a year later, my mother asked me like, "What's going on with you? Like, why do you just seem so angry?" And I wound up I brought up the whole bashing, and she was like, "I honestly forgot about that."
Wow. That's just how much you didn't bring it up. They got to the
Mm-hmm.
point where that's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, that's powerful. Because that's your child, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that says so much that you closed it off inside of you to the point where everybody else is just like, oh.
Yeah, like he's okay,
Mm-hmm.
but I really wasn't okay. I got to a point where I didn't even want to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I just felt like people was out to get me.
Right.
I was really closed off for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been the type of person who, you know, go out anyway.
Right.
So, but that just made it worse. I didn't want to do anything.
Right.
I did, like, the only thing I would do was go to school, go to work, come home. Didn't even want to catch the bus to school or work because I felt like something would happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, And then the second occurrence, which happened like only a little over a year afterwards, someone held a gun to my head. And, took my phone. But believe it or not, that didn't even affect me like the other thing.
Do you think that you were numb because of the other situation, or like what made it so this one didn't affect you as much?
I don't know. I can't answer that question. I actually cried that time.
Wow. Do you think that was kind of a release from the first time?
It probably would, because I didn't cry. I didn't cry because I was scared or anything. I cried because I was angry at the fact that, like, I was like, why is shit like this always happening to me?
Yeah, I can understand that.
So,
like, what is it that I'm putting out into the universe that these kind of things keep happening to me? You know,
right?
That goes back. You know, nice guys don't finish last. It's like, okay, I'm a good guy. You know,
And
there are
feel
people.
like I did.
Yeah.
It made me feel like I did finish last.
Yeah. But to bring this around full circle for those of you who are watching it, all of that took place before the book.
Yeah.
You know? So I guess my question to you is, do you feel as though in any way you're validated for what it is that took place? You know, these things took place for you, and to still have been able to persevere and come out with this book. Does that, like, do those things come together for you? Like, do you see that as being a victory for you?
I do. I really do. And you're making me see that. You're making me see that.
Yay for my Oprah moment.
It does, though, because one of the main characters, Abdul, in the book, he goes through a lot of leaps and bounds in this book. I mean, I feel like all of the characters, they have some things that, thrown at them. But him, okay, first I want to say that every character has a part of me. Every character has a part of me. Even the bitchy characters, they have a part of me. But Abdul in specific, I feel like has my strengths.
Okay.
And so many things has happened where you would think that he would just give up, but no, he just keeps going and going and going, and that's what I've learned. I have to keep going. I can't allow for something like a gay bashing to stop me from being out there in the world. I can't be closed off, and I can't let one bad relationship mess it up for other people in the future.
Amen.
So,
why don't you think nice guys finish last?
I think nice guys. Why I think they don't? Well, when I think of a nice guy, I think of superheroes.
Why?
I think of Batman and Superman and Spider-Man. How all of the villains, they basically lose in the end, and the superheroes win. And that's what I think of when I think of nice guys. And I've never told anybody this, but the book was actually going to be called, what was it? Superheroes, Goblins, and the Finish Line. That's what it was going to be called. Superheroes, Goblins, and the Finish Line. But I wound up naming one of my chapters that.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't name it that because I thought that people would be confused. They'd be like, what the hell? I thought that I was going to read about superheroes and I'm reading about two gay guys having sex. What is going on? So I
saw goblins on the front. What the hell is going on with them sleeping together.
Yeah, so I just made it nice guys. So
Don't finish last.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What is next for you? Now that this book has been released and this was 2 years in the making, what's next for Chavez Brown?
I'm gonna continue pushing this because it definitely has not. It definitely hasn't met my expectations yet. Mm-hmm. I mean, I appreciate everything that is happening so far, but I want it to go far. Mm-hmm. I want to have book tours. I would love to, even though I hate speaking, I would love to speak at seminars and stuff like that.
To kind of help you get over the feeling of not wanting to do it. Yeah.
Yes. I want to focus. I want to focus on this book before I really start on another one. Mm-hmm. But I have 2 ideas in mind for the next book. I actually have an outline for one.
Okay.
People have been asking me if I'm making a sequel to this one. Mm-hmm. I cannot answer that question yet.
Okay.
But
is it you cannot answer it as the author, or you can't answer because you honestly don't know yourself yet?
I cannot answer at that moment. I mean, at this moment, because one idea is to make a sequel, but the other idea is something like going into a whole nother direction. It's a serious curveball.
Okay.
People probably will be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, you going from this to
this?" Yeah.
But that's what I'm really feeling right now. Mm-hmm. From this curveball. Right. That's what I'm really feeling. Versus the sequel. Yeah. I mean, I would love to make a sequel later on.
Right.
But I think that I want to focus on what I'm feeling right now.
I was about to say, you have to do what it speaks to you. You know, if you do what it speaks to you, you'll be amazed at how it ends up speaking to other people when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's an exclusive. Because have you said that anywhere else?
What? Which part?
As far as what it is you're thinking of doing, as far as maybe the sequel or a curveball.
I think briefly I've mentioned it in another interview, but I didn't really go into detail like I did.
Okay. Sort of exclusive.
I want to make Nice Guys Don't Finish Lessons a movie.
Okay.
And like, it has to be a movie. I just see it. I see it being a miniseries on HBO every Sunday.
Wow. That's for money.
Yes, that's what I see.
Do you have any... Now, of course, by the time it happens, these people will either be older or you'll have a completely new idea of who you want to be in it. But as of right now, if it came out tomorrow, do you have any idea of who will be the star?
No. I don't have any ideas who I want to star. Actually, I think by that time I want to find some unknowns.
Okay.
I want to find some unknowns. I do have Lynn Whitfield in mind for one of the motherly roles. Okay. But that's the only person who is well known that, that I can think of. But the person who I want to direct it is Lee Daniels. Okay. The director of Precious. Mm-hmm.
It's only because of you. If you weren't in my life, I would not laugh at the name Precious. you say Precious and I immediately start laughing. And it's only because of you, I swear.
Oh gosh. Oh, you can't laugh. And I was being so serious. Oh my god.
You were really in that. You was like, okay, we're making this movie. And I'm like, he can't say Precious to me. Like, that movie was so serious to me. and then you and your Facebook statuses and your tweets.
You thought it was so serious?
Yes.
Y'all forgive me if y'all seen a movie and y'all think that I'm crazy for thinking that Precious is one of the most hilarious movies I've ever seen. Forgive me if you feel like I'm desensitized. But that movie is just, it's hilarious. And I feel like that it was meant to be. Oh gosh, Lee Daniels was not going to want to work with me.
Now you feel like he meant for it to be a undercover comedy.
I did. Well, okay. Okay, not an undercover comedy, but I think some of the undertones were meant to be comical.
Okay.
Because...
Like when she threw the frying pan at him?
No! No, that was supposed to show...
You can't get it out though.
That was supposed to show the violent side, the shit that Precious had to go through.
Not your eyes watering.
Oh my gosh. Why did you have to say that part? When people know that I laugh at that.
I'm just trying to understand.
Alright, okay. The first time when I watched Precious, and I'm gonna get back to Lee Daniels, why I want Lee Daniels to do it. But the first time I ever watched Precious, I didn't see it at the movies like everybody else. I saw it on bootleg. Oh gosh, Lee Daniels definitely ain't gonna work for me.
He ain't gonna fall out when he sees this. He's gonna be like, yes. That's why I want to work with him. Exactly that.
Yes. So I was watching.
I was about to say, you turning completely away from the camera.
Yeah, I was watching it on my computer. And, you know, because people were like, yeah, you gotta see this. This movie is just incredible, and the acting was good, and Monique was so evil, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm watching a movie. It's like 5 minutes in, and with the frying pan part, I was like, okay. But then when she started cussing at her from, you know, from the steps, I was very confused. I was like, am I supposed to feel sorry for Precious, or am I supposed to be laughing at Monique? Because I couldn't, like, I covered my mouth. I was like, thank God I did not see this at the movies, because somebody probably would curse me out for wanting to laugh. But by the time the movie ended, my stomach was hurting really bad. I could not stop laughing. But it's still a really good movie. Yeah, I had to pause.
You had to pause.
Yeah, but it's so many quotables. I love quoting that. I'm sorry.
Yes, you quote that movie.
Yes, I love quoting that movie. But Lee, I want to work with you because I feel like my book is very raw and you can bring it to life. Like what you did for Precious. Because, like my book, I think some moments are supposed to be taken seriously, but then you wind up laughing. But that's real life. That's how real life is. Like, it's some serious situations that we go through.
People go chasing you up steps.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, everybody.
Wait a minute.
After Monique Monique's failed attempt to hit Precious with the frying pan, am I the only person who thought that it resembled a old western, the way that they were circling each other? Oh my gosh, every time I see that scene, I just hear the music in my head say,
in my head just now. I was like, is that what he hear? And then you said it.
What I hear. Do you know what?
Yes.
When they circled each other?
Oh my God.
When they looked at each other like, yeah, bitch, I'm gonna get you. And it's just like, doo, 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 doo. I'm like, oh my gosh, this just looks like an old Western to me.
Oh God. I can't. Okay. But yes, the rawness.
Yes, Lee can definitely bring it to life. And
if y'all can only see his eyes, y'all can't see it from right there, but he has water in his eyes, like in the cracks of his eyes.
and then the fact that Lee is gay, it I think that he will understand where I'm trying to come.
Right. He could give it like a real
and not
honest,
try to camouflage
water
it
it down.
Yeah, like Brokeback Mountain.
Do you know I've still never seen that movie?
You haven't?
Ain't that a shame?
That's the most long-winded ass movie I've ever seen in my life. Oh
Okay,
God, I'm supposed to say that. You can.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Look, this is the escape theory. To be completely honest, who can manage you? Like, I'm sure there are other gay people who completely agree with you. So, yeah, that was hilarious. I'm so glad we talked about Precious. I wouldn't even thought about talking about that. As far as I'm concerned,
it was supposed to be serious though. It was really supposed to
can't be serious about Precious. That is completely not Chavez to not be.
But I was serious. I wasn't going to quote it or anything.
You was really
I just was going to start talking about Lee Daniels and leave it at that.
You was in author mode. You was making your point for what you want him to do the movie, and you was going to move on.
And now I'm Chavez the person.
You still the author? Because watch. We gonna look at this and be like, remember when we first did the first episode of Escape Theory, and that's why Lee Daniels ended up calling you up? That's exactly what's gonna happen. Watch. You're gonna be on your second or third book. You're gonna get that good phone call.
Lee Daniels, please call me back in 2025.
Damn.
Because it's like, no, I really.
Good Lord.
No, but really by like book 4, I can see the first one.
2025. Ain't nobody even gonna want the first book to be made no more. I'm like, okay. You need to get on book 3. But ain't nobody checking for part 1.
No, Lord. While you listening to me, I really don't want it to be 2025. I want 2015 or something.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. That's more
Okay. So the final question, with all of this being said, and with the viewers of the Escape Theory now knowing your story, what do you believe is the power of your voice? What do you believe when you speak? When you say what it is you say, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or in conversation with people or even speaking when you go on your tours as far as your book, what is it that Chavez L. Brown is saying? What's the power of your voice?
The power of my voice is, when I speak, I try to come from a very honest place. When I speak, I feel like it's very genuine. Because if I don't like something, then I feel like that I can be vocal for it when my opinion is asked, but for the most part, if you have nothing to say, don't say anything at all.
Right.
Is what I believe. So, my voice, I feel, is very honest. I think for the most part, when people go on social networks and see my tweets and see my statuses on Facebook, what you see is what you get. That is me. I'm not trying to pretend to be this nice person. That's really me.
Right.
And, and I'm very random. I'm sure people look at my tweets, like, one minute I'll say something like I'm dancing to Usher or something like that, and then the next second you see me say nice guys don't finish last. Like, I'm very random, but my brain is it's just constantly working. So
for the record, though, not to cut off the most important question. But those are the people I enjoy the most, actually, especially on Twitter. Almost random people.
Yeah,
those are the best. Like, yes.
Now sometimes I admit there are some things that I wish that I could say, but since I am an author now, and I'm trying to build a name for myself, I have to watch what I say.
If only people understood that.
I have to watch what I say. Now, sometimes I still blurt out a few curse words.
Right.
But, yeah, I try to watch what I say. Because I know sometimes I really have a mouth like a sailor.
You've actually done very well doing this interview.
Now, I don't curse as much as my mother now. But I have a mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
But okay. So yeah, the remainder. So
for like, is there a deeper?
When you feel like you've made the cut, then when you've said exactly what you need to say, that's good enough.
Okay. And I just feel like not like figuratively speaking, as far as voice goes, I think when someone finds their own voice is when they aren't thinking about other people's opinions, and you're making your opinions based off of how you really feel, and being a leader. That's when you find your own voice. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the voice.
This has been hilarious. And even though he brought it up, that I ended up bringing up the scene, I'm happy because we needed to be able to talk about Precious. So y'all can understand his wicked sense of humor. I have really enjoyed this.
I have to.
And I'm so proud of you. And I cannot wait until we come back for the next book, so I can interview you again about bad guys get everything they want. I don't know. You said curveball, so I'm like, okay, it's gonna go in the completely opposite direction.
Okay, I'm gonna give a hint for the curveball.
Okay.
It will focus on a group of white women.
I thought she was gonna say it's gonna focus on lesbians, so I was close. Okay, at least I got the women part. Okay.
A group of white women, not like Friends. Not
okay.
It's not gonna be like a Sex and the City,
right?
No, that's too like no. That's still along. That's still like along the lines of being gay.
Yes.
No, No, I will get further details when I start writing.
Okay.
Because I think people will find it very interesting.
If that's not a quotable, I still consider that to be on the lines of being gay. That's a quotable right there. Yeah. I needed for this interview to have taken place like 2 weeks ago, so I could have made a commercial and used some of your quotes, because that would have been everything. Like, tune in to us on 11/11/11 for this. Yeah, so I made some comment.
But you can still use it for future.
That's true.
Stuff.
That's true. Yeah. We are done. We would like to thank Chavez L. Brown for being on the very first episode of the eXcape Theory. Definitely, if you want to holler at Chavez on Twitter, here's his information right there. Hit him up. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Nice guys don't finish last.
I was about to say, at deed. I wanted to say indeed and at all. Right?
Gosh, now you can't even say that. You messed that all up.
No, nice guys do not finish last, and you are chilling with two of them right now.
Yes.
Take that. All right. Peace.
Good night.
I would like to thank all of the Amadamaphis people who joined us for the very first episode of the eXcape Theory. Thank you to Chavez L. Brown, J. Pope, Damone Williams, and Eboni Brown. This has been great. I really hope that all of you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Next month, we're going to focus on the open mic scene. what the experience is like for everyone, the artists, the audience, the positives, and the negatives. I would also like to thank J Pope for contributing her song, Let Them Come. That is the theme song to the eXcape Theory, and I truly appreciate that sister giving us permission to use it. I hope that you've enjoyed this entire experience, and I can't wait to see where this show is going to go in the future. So I'll see you next month. December is going to be great. Until then, namaste.
Posturing and threatening and questioning my right to be mad. Well, let them come. For me or my people and watch the upheaval rain down. Just let them come. Can't stand in the shadows much longer. The battle is getting warmer. Let them come. Let them come.
When I'm standing here waiting on the war cry, while the choppers circle around in my red sky, fly ashes, sweat ashes. The discourse is no more. We pass it on to another dawn. Similar to past lives. If you knew your history, then you could probably transcribe what's happening down to the millisecond. The revolution is ever present. And steady on a constant stream. The only thing that ever changes are the hues on the screen. The same scenes come through on the local news. It ain't the German shepherds now, it's the principles and the pastors too, and the local crews and the mother, cousin, grandmother closest to you. They got a whole generation of some new strange fruit, thinking they martyrs for a birthright, dying while their lights bright.
Posturing and threatening and questioning my right to be mad. Well, let them come. For me or my people and watch the upheaval rain down. Just let them come. Can't stand in the shadows much longer. The battle is getting warmer. Let them come. Let them come.
We looking at our leaders like, who the fuck elected you? Acting like he ain't a man, that's just what the power doing. All the checks and balances haven't been adding up. Considering the fact is these actors are running up. For the longest running show in the history of time, we class climbing to the bottom while they keeping us blind. My only focus in this world is trying to go for mine. I hope you get yours. Good luck, I need more and more and